I don't care about I don't want number one spots. It's just like, you know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, there was another guy that was not in the number one spot according to the entire world. And then next week, 2 weeks from now, when somebody else does it, all these discussions about, like I said, number ones and classics, and I don't care. I just want to make good music, and I just want you to enjoy it. And as long as we have that relationship for the duration of this career, I'm good. Like, I don't need to, like, I don't, you know. And maybe that's why people say I'm there, because I disconnect from it. You know, my uncle always told me something early in my life which stuck with me, which is that while you're on the journey, you have to disconnect from the end goal. You know, because if you're just focused on some end goal, then you might get there, but it'll be hard to progress past that because you're so focused on that one destination that it's like, you know, you maybe forget everything in between, and maybe you could have done more in between. He always told me, like, just be here right now, live right now, and do the best you can right now. Don't worry about what that end goal is. It's great to have goals, it's great to have dreams, but it's just like you get too attached to it, and sometimes it could be a self-destructive thing. So, I mean, I just kind of try and progress as much as I can, like right now, you know? I think every time I say I'm about to do something, people are waiting for me to fumble. That's probably one of the biggest motivations behind a lot of my raps, is the amount of people that want me to fall or whatever. I think that should be the motivation for most rappers, you know. The further you climb towards the top, the more hands you have on your pant leg dragging you to the bottom. They just start tugging at you, but, you know, I wear really strong pants. I never want to be always right, because then I can't grow, I can't learn. So I have no desire to be always right. I need mistakes, you know. Right. And luckily enough, and knock on this wooden piano here, that, like, you know, my mistakes are never crucial enough for me to be like, man, you know, they're always great learning experiences. I always want to outdo myself. I always want to outdo everybody else around me. I'm a very competitive person. I'm just quiet about it. I'm not really out there like talking about who I want to outdo. I'd rather just go and outdo it, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to just sitting back and being like, oh, you know, I don't need to tell you who I'm better than or who I'm trying to be better than. I just want to put my music out, and then you tell me who's better than, you know what I'm saying? That's, I mean, yeah. I leave it up to the people, you know, yeah. and as far as like how do I get better, I push myself really hard. I mean, I have great opinions in the studio, you know, like me, myself, Hush, we all sit in the studio and sorry, me, myself, Hush, that makes no sense. Me, 40 and Hush. I need that drink whenever you guys are ready. So yeah, you know, we all sit in the studio, and I don't sacrifice, like, I try not to sacrifice any bar, you know. I mean, I'll sit there on the last two lines of a verse for 3-4 days if I need to, you know, just to figure out how to end it. You know, I want it to be cohesive. I always want the beginning of a verse to be strong. I always want the end to be strong. And I really, really, really spend a lot of time on bars, man. You know, luckily for me, melodies come extremely easy, you know, knock on wood, like, but they do. I mean, I that is something that naturally, like, I just get in there and it starts flowing, and by, you know, 40 minutes in, an hour in, I have pretty much the direction that I'm going in. But when it comes to raps, I spend a lot of time on it, man. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you know, that's all off the top, baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I spend a lot of time.
When you're in the lab going and crafting the music, is this somebody that you think about from your past that you're like, you know what, for every time such and such gave me a wedgie, or for every time that girl like fronted on me, I do this for that, you know, I do this for that?
Nah, it's more the influential people that I know. I don't really think about the people that did negative things to me. I think about the individuals like Wayne, like Ross, like Ye, like the guys that I know. You know, if I take tonight off, I know that one of them is probably in the studio crafting something magical, you know, so I should probably stay a little longer. Or I should probably not go to the club. I should just, you know, work, because I know that there's somebody else working if I decide to go play. You know what I'm saying? So I just use like individuals, you know, and especially like probably one of the most influential people like in that regard obviously is Wayne, but you know, as well, Jay is one of those guys too. That's one guy like you can guarantee if he's going in there and rapping, it's gonna be something great. So I just use people, you know, I use positive inspiration as opposed to like they're like, oh man, that guy still owes me. Like, nah, I don't, you know, it's all good, man. I'm in a great positive headspace right now. I don't want to give anybody no problems. I don't want no problems. I just want people to like appreciate this music.
So my thing is like usually when I'm in my phone, you know, it's because you said something or you said something or someone said something that's prompted me to be like, oh, I got to write that down. It doesn't even have to rhyme, you know, right away. It doesn't have to be, you know, a thought, you know, it doesn't have to be a bar. It just can be like something you said. Like even like I think the last thing I wrote down was like, someone last night was like, man, I feel like I've become a recluse. And I was like, man, recluse, that's such a great word. I love that word. And I just write down like, use the word recluse, you know, somewhere. So if you hear recluse in a rap, it's because someone said it.
Someone said it.
Right. So it's just like those type of things. I mean, I keep a constant notepad of just ideas, play by play. If you read through that notepad, you could really see where my mind is at, where my life is at. But no one is allowed to read through that notepad.
I made a commitment very early on to just be myself, you know, and what really bothers me the most is the fact that, you know, sometimes I feel like I don't get enough credit or I'm not making a big enough impact because I'm not enough of a loose cannon, you know, in situations like this where we're doing a one-on-one interview or, you know, that people just want me to go off more and lose my composure and then that way, you know, I guess maybe I would be like, cooler, make more headlines or be more iconic, but that's not me, you know, I'm a naturally poised individual. I don't want to just come out, you know, making mistakes and having to be like, oh, man.
That's the thing, right? Like you said, you know, a lot of artists just have MySpace and just have, you know, a couple songs and don't have a website, don't have marketing, don't have anything. And then they get disappointed when they only sell like 70 records, you know, and it's like, you gotta understand that this is about marketing. Like this whole thing is about marketing. It's about your image. It's about your story. You gotta be appealing to people. And if you're gonna release a record in Canada, you have to do something that nobody else has done or else there's no point. That's how I see it.
So all I want to say is, what do I have to do or any artist in this room have to do to get noticed by you?
That's a great question. I think that for anybody, what you have to understand is like, there's a way to exist in this world that's like, we've never had it before, but like, I strongly believe in the fact that if you have a good product, for the first time ever, there's a way to like get the world to hear your product. And if it's good, you will see the results from it. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's people that, you know, artists will drop a mixtape and if that mixtape picks up, you know, whether it's like House of Balloons or Party Next Door, like he'll get like, I remember seeing when House of Balloons dropped, I remember people being like, yo, I'm in the Netherlands right now listening to House of Balloons. It's like, what? Like, you know, we have such a platform to access the entire world. And my biggest thing to you, your question was, how do you, like, I guess, catch the attention? It's just about finding your own moment, you know, and having the music be great, as cliche as that sounds, but it's just like, man, you know, there's not a lot of great music to choose from. So when somebody is great, the world will let you know. Trust me. It doesn't take me. It doesn't take this guy. The world will let you know. All you have to do is put it out there. And there are people who scour the internet every day looking for the next big thing. And I promise you, if that product that you have is potent enough, you will be the next big thing. And I feel like that's it, you know?
Gentlemen, the movie is testing through the roof. We're gonna have ourselves a hit, right?
I just want to say, it's all thanks to this guy, man. I love working with you, man, straight up.
You know, when we started this movie, you and I were co-stars. Now you're my brother.
All we need now is a title.
Okay, well, I mean, best to keep it simple, no? It's like Drake and Blake.
Yeah, the people in it, we could call it.
Maybe, but I also like Blake and Drake. Yeah. Blake and Drake.
And then you're
Yeah.
Do we love Blake and Drake though? Or do we like genuinely love Drake and Blake, like right when you hear it?
Why don't we just take the beginning of my name and the end of your name and just Blake, bam, Blake, bam, done. Blake, bam, 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 bam.
Combined. Just comes right together.
Yeah.
It just gets like, it's like hard to say, you know? It's like Blake and Drake. But it's like Drake and Blake. Drake and Blake.
Hey, guys, hey, you know what? Hey, we have a week to make this decision.
I mean, I'm sure something will happen to make Blake change his mind.
Oh, something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna happen.
It's on.